Hello, good afternoon. I am here in Bellevue, Washington with
Jivana Aras.
Jivana Aras, who plays cricket and is going to tell us a little bit about her experience playing cricket and how she got started, and we'll go from there.
Okay, I started cricket in 2020 when the pandemic hit and everything shut down, because before that I was playing soccer. I grew up playing soccer in Bellevue, Lake Hills Soccer Select Club. And then I remember halfway through a season, everything stopped. And then I remember my dad being like, you need to do physical activity or you're gonna go insane. So there were some nets at Robbinswood Park, not too far from my house. And we're like, oh, we'll go there, we'll try it out. So then we started playing every other day, and then became every day, and then 7 days a week, like throughout the entire year. And then I just fell in love with the sport from there.
Why do you love the sport? Because a lot of Americans don't know much about cricket.
Yeah, so I love the sport. I mean, it gives me the physical activity. I love the camaraderie. I've made so many friends just playing all around the world, like in Bellevue, and then Texas, Florida, California, East Coast. I mean, I went to Australia. I made great friends. I think that was the biggest thing, just finding friends after the pandemic hit. Like, that was really hard for me. So I think that was one of the big reasons. I mean, I love the sport just because, it's a bat and ball game too, but I think that was the biggest reason.
So what, your teammates here, where do they come from? How do you are they like you, born in the U.S. with immigrant parents, or some of them born elsewhere and play?
I think it's half and half. I know a good amount of them were born in India, and then the other half were born in Washington. So I don't exactly remember like the percentage of them, but that's where a lot of them are from. I mean, I met a lot of them here. I coached a decent amount of the girls when they first started. Then others I met just like throughout the season, playing with different clubs, playing different games, and that's where I met all my friends.
And so your friends, if they didn't know about cricket before, how do you introduce them to cricket?
I think the first way I introduced them was like, I play this sport. It's like the British Indian version of baseball, but better. Yeah, so right now I'm on the USA Women's National Team. I also played on the USA U19 team, and then I got too old, so I can't play that anymore. I mean, recently we just went to the World Cup qualifiers in Abu Dhabi, which was a great experience. I mean, we wished we performed better, but it was great overall. I mean, I love those girls. They're some of my really good friends.
And what about, do you get fans?
Depending on where we go, yes.
Okay.
I mean, not always, because it's not as widely known in the U.S., but when we travel, sometimes we'll get fans here and there. Yeah. Mostly our parents, but
that's okay.
We got good support from them.
And because your team comes from everywhere, then the parents come from everywhere.
Mostly, I mean, I think like 13.5, because I'm half Indian, that's the 0.5. All of them are from India. And then we have like a Sri Lankan, but she was born in Australia, so Australian. But I mean, all of them are from India, really.
Yeah, really kind of an international but India-focused
India-focused team.
So what are the next steps in your cricket career?
Right now, I really want my team to go to the World Cup, qualify for the World Cup in either the T20 format or the one-day format, which is 50 overs. And then I also want to go play professional, either in WBBL, which is the Women's Big Bash League in Australia, WPL, so the Women's Premier League in India, or the 100 in England.
Okay, so you've got some targets
in mind. I got some targets in mind.
That's good. What about now, men's cricket is going to become an Olympic sport, true?
It is. I think women's cricket is the first one going in before men's cricket.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think that was what they were trying to do. I'm not sure. I think I have to check that fact.
That should be another target for you.
In 2028, that's a big one. I've been also leaning towards. I mean, it's always been my dream to go to the Olympics since I was little, either because I played soccer for so long. At first it was for soccer, and then knowing that cricket will be in the Olympics in 2028, that's my next goal.
Good. Well, get on it. Yep. I'll let you get back to training.
Thank you.
Thank you for spending some time with me today.
Thank you.
All right, we're still here in Bellevue talking cricket. Please introduce yourself.
Yatin Aras. I'm Jivana Aras's dad. I'm known as a father now, not as my own identity. But
I've lost it. I've lost mine too.
So Jivana plays on the U.S. national team.
Yeah. So how did you start playing cricket?
I grew up in Mumbai, in India. So I don't remember what age I started playing cricket. It was always there, probably age 2. You know, when we had a bat and ball, and we would go down and play. Then I played for my school in India, so 6th, 7th grade on. Played the Kyle and Harry Shields in India. Played junior college. Played senior college. Captained my senior college cricket team.
Okay.
Then was in Germany, came to the U.S., played here in Seattle, both in Seattle as well as Vancouver.
So did cricket bring you to the U.S. or sports bring you to the U.S. or something else?
Tech.
Tech, that's what I...
Education, so I came here for grad school.
Okay.
And then started working here, got married, had kids.
Right. Tell me a little bit about Domestic Pathways program.
So, in fact, that's how she got started as well. They had the Seattle trials back in, it was scheduled for end of March 2020. And that's where I said, hey, you want to give it a shot? We'll train for a month. I don't know what I was thinking. Right? It's in Seattle, so, why don't you just give it a shot, see how it goes? Because of COVID, that got postponed. So we started training for that. And that was postponed, so we just kept training. And then that happened in August, September timeframe. And then she got onto that training group.
Okay.
And then they have the pathways where they do intra-regionals, regionals, and then nationals.
Okay.
So that started in 2021. Was the first time she played in that pathway. It was great because there was some structure behind women's cricket, and they could actually move and get to the next level, right? Which unless you have a structure, it's hard for girls or any player to stay motivated to actually improve themselves so that they can get to the next level. So that was great to have.
Caught my attention about cricket as a game that most Americans don't know about, but it seems ready to take off. Would you agree?
It is. I just read some research. Well, not truly research, but casual research maybe, done by an American actually, where they explained cricket and baseball to a novice, complete novice who doesn't know both games, and it was much easier to understand cricket than baseball. A lot of people here don't realize it because baseball has these intricacies, but they grew up with baseball, so they know it. But cricket is a lot simpler to understand as a game.
But how do you see the future of cricket in America?
It's going to take a while. I mean, when soccer was in this country, I don't know, since the 30s, right? It took a while, and it's only in the 70s and 80s it started getting a little more traction with professional leagues. And then I can talk about, in Seattle, it was Major League Cricket, Major League Soccer that took hold. We had a USL team, but then MLS came over, and that really, gave soccer a different level of momentum in this country, especially in Seattle. So the introduction of MLC, Major League Cricket, and minor league cricket is good. When people see that, hey, there's a professional league, there's a future to playing this game, it gives a lot of impetus to younger players to actually take it more seriously than just an immigrant sport. So it's great to have this. It's great to even have IPL and other leagues around the world do really well, because in cricket it was mostly international fixtures, but to have these professional leagues develop and do really well is great for the game. And T20 is a different game. When most people, when they think about cricket, they think about, it's multi-day, 5-day games, but they have got to watch T20, right? It's a different format. Talking about NIL, probably it's a good time to start thinking about cricket as an NCAA sport. So we're introducing it in schools now and high school. It'll take some time. It'll truly be an amateur sport. Right. Because it won't have the viewership, right? Other sports have. So, but given the amount of immigrants in U.S. universities today, as a ratio of what it used to be in the past, there's a very good chance of success for cricket, because you're serving, the universities are actually serving their students. Not about the viewership right now, but for students to play the game and for students to compete. You got to have cricket as an NCAA sport. Okay,
well, come see me at George Mason, and I'll show you where the South Asians play cricket.
Awesome.
All right.
Very good.
Pleasure. Thank you very much. Good. I am here in Bellevue, Washington today, talking cricket with my guest, Jagan
Nemani, I'm the SVP of Operations for Seattle Orcas, which is one of the 6 major league cricket teams in the country.
So how did you get involved with the Seattle Orcas?
Oh well, it's a long story, but way back in 2019, I just met the founder of Major League Cricket.
Okay.
And at that point of a time, we had a good conversation and said, "Hey, why don't you come over, join Major League Cricket, and we can build cricket throughout the country?" And that's what I did, and joined them in 2019. And till last year, I was with Major League Cricket, developing grassroots crickets throughout the country. Seattle mainly, but developing youth cricket system throughout the country. So had a lot of fun, developed, worked with a lot of players, worked with a lot of youth. Saw tremendous growth in cricket that came over since 2020. And then last year, the structure of the league changed a bit, and Seattle Orcas became responsible for the cricket development in the Pacific Northwest. So that's when I moved from the league to Seattle Orcas and took on the position here.
So did cricket bring you to the United States, or?
No, we did not actually. I immigrated to the United States in 1999.
Okay.
And like a lot of engineers at that point of a time, we would go work hard in India, get our engineering degree, and the ultimate destination would be the land, the USA, where you can live the American dream.
Oh.
So came over, with work permit, worked at tech companies, engineering, high-end technology. Got my green card, got my citizenship, and
Congratulations.
And it's been long actually. I got my citizenship like 15 years ago.
Okay.
So, and being an active part of the community in terms of contributing to the community, contributing to overall well-being of, being a good citizen of America.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the American dream, has been built by
totally.
different cohorts of immigrants, whether it was my grandfather or you, making those kind of contributions.
Yeah, that's the beauty of our country, right?
Yeah.
We are welcoming for people who want to come, who want to work hard, who want to give back,
Right.
and get us to the better place. And that's what we are all about. And that's our American dream.
Yeah. Well, as you know, we think about sports as a way to gain that acceptance for each successive cohort of immigrants.
Yeah.
So how are we going to do this with cricket? How are we going to get people like me watching cricket?
Well, it's amazing. So 4 years ago, what we started doing is we started identifying people, like really good talented cricket players, who are not getting an opportunity in their home country for doing what they wanted to do. So we tapped into those players and kind of showed them the American dream, and kind of got them migrated over, helped them settle down, helped them kind of go through the process of getting their green cards and stuff like that, right? Few of those players made it to the USA Cricket team, which is our national cricket team this year. USA Cricket, just got a boost with so many different players coming in and doing so well, that first match they had against Canada, they beat them. Second match they had it against Pakistan, they beat them. Then they gave a tough fight to India. We thought they will win against India as well, and their match against Ireland washed out, but they got 1 point. And now they went from being a minnow, being no one in world stage of cricket, to being in the top 8 countries in the world.
Yeah, that's exciting for the game.
Right?
Yeah,
So they've got a great team, everyone's hungry, they want to do well. So that's amazing. So think about it, that immigrants who grew up playing cricket somewhere else, bought into the American dream, came over here, worked, played hard, worked hard, got their green cards, got their immigrations done, and now they have taken our national team from being nothing to being the top 8.
Yeah, that's great.
So that's a great story of how immigrants can come and give back and kind of really make an impact in America.
Yeah, and you can see it making an impact in sort of mainstream media now. CNN did a story recently after the game, the match with Pakistan, and I think this is going to continue. So what happens next with the final 8? Where do they play and when?
So the very first match they're playing on July 19th against South Africa. Then they're playing on 21st against West Indies, which is basically Caribbean islands. They come together as one nation called West Indies. And then they play on 23rd against England. Now that's a game to watch.
Okay.
You know, so if our boys are able to win over England, the original founders of cricket, that'll be big. Where you know we are able to give it back.
It would be another American Revolution.
Yeah, another American Revolution, totally.
Yeah,
And this will be a great story for all of us, for all the immigrants, for all the kids who are born here, all the players who are born here are part of the U.S. team, and you know how we are able to kind of adopt, how we are able to enhance, and how we are able to win.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like even the format of T20 really kind of appeals to a broader audience.
It totally does. It's 3.5 hours of full action. Who wouldn't love that?
Yeah, yeah. Probably more exciting than baseball sometimes.
I don't know that. Baseball's got a lot of good things happening, a lot of different technicalities in it. Cricket has a lot of good things happening, a lot of different technicalities in it. I just feel that baseball fans will have another major sports event to kind of support, another major sports to support and enjoy. So, you know, that's going to be great.
Yeah, well, that's our goal, is to get more Americans knowing about cricket and about the way cricket works in the U.S., the contributions.
And it's good to see how the overall talent in the country has been developing because of that notion. You know, when you have a good player who's an immigrant comes in and raises the bar, everybody playing in his team and the opposite team have to raise the bar, otherwise they don't win.
Okay.
And winning does this to you, that they want to kind of figure out how to get better, how to get better every day, and you know, the bar overall for the country raises, the bar overall, the talent overall in the country raises. And people who can't meet that bar, they go away, and who can, they, you know, keep continuing more and have fun.
Okay. So